Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 311. This is a kind of a mixed sprint and jump session, kind of like boundy, weird variety in, I guess you could say, plyometrics. So started out with just build-up sprints, probably one of my favorite ways to warm up without having to worry about doing all the A skips, B skips, all the extra bells and whistles when it comes to a track warm-up. A lot of that can be subverted if you don't have time. Obviously it would be optimal if you're going to do a sprint session to, build on the sprint technique. Technique is very useful for improving the way that you can express your athleticism with your body. But if you're strapped for time, just a couple rounds of build-up sprints where you just gradually build up the speed over the course of, say, 40 meters, that's definitely more than enough to help to potentiate your body for the sprinting. Human body is fantastic at auto-regulating the amount of force that it can put out. It knows how much force it can tolerate very, very intuitively without getting injured. So it's very good at auto-regulating how fast it'll actually allow you to go until you're actually fully warmed up. If you try and just go run a sprint cold, you're not going to be able to run fast enough to injure yourself. It's very unlikely that you're going to be able to do that. So if you just gradually warm up, but just generally moving, increasing your heart rate, then that will work wonders for the session. Anyway, with regards to the session, I did some skips for height and also for distance. Also did some box jumps into sprints, jumping off of one leg, two leg, a variety of different sprint starts where I would go from maybe a lateral bound. These feel really, really awkward, but it is building my capacity to sprint out of different positions, as well as enhancing my just general athletic movement literacy. The better you get at sprinting generally, the better you'll get at sprinting. The better you get at jumping generally, the better you'll get at jumping. And just the more context in which you can produce force and you can produce force quickly, the better you'll get at the task that you're doing. The task of jumping, if you want to generally get good at the task of jumping, then jump in a bunch of different ways. One leg, two leg, of different positions, different joint angles, different approaches, static jumps, approach jumps. But if you want to get good at doing approach jumps, for example, for jumping to dunk a basketball or jumping for volleyball, or just having the highest possible vertical jump that you can get, obviously you'll jump higher with an approach. You need to be doing approach jumps. You need to be practicing jumps where your jump is preceded by your center of mass moving horizontally with momentum. If you can't do that and you can't translate horizontal momentum into a vertical impulse spike or into vertical force, then you're not going to be able to jump your highest. And that is something that I think I've been notoriously bad at over the last 3 years of my training for vertical jump. It's been something I've been completely missing out on. It's just practicing approach jumps and things like bounding, sprinting, and jumps where my jump is preceded by my center of mass moving horizontally with great speed. I think I lack the ability to translate my horizontal force into vertical impulse, because I think I'm definitely fast enough to warrant having like a high enough vertical jump. I'm definitely fast enough with my sprints. I'm definitely strong enough to be able to dunk a basketball, to jump high enough to dunk a basketball. But it's somewhere in the middle of those two things where I can't translate how fast I am into jumping high, and I also can't translate my strength into jumping high because my strength is too slow and I don't quite have the technique yet in order to be able to translate my speed into a high vertical jump. So currently the lowest hanging fruit for me, in my opinion, is that capacity and improving that capacity, which can only really be improved by just doing approach jumps, full approach jumps, where I'm moving as fast as I can, increasing my horizontal velocity as much as possible, and trying to translate as much of that as possible into a vertical impulse spike. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next video.